Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an exciting update for the future of The Mandalorian, and also into the regards of the other crossover shows, spin-offs like Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew, everything else that's a part of the overall Mando-verse. Kind of what it looks like from one of the actors, as they have recently taken to have some new reveals of the overall future plan of the future of the Mando-verse. We of course are going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're discussing and talking about all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. In this video, we are going to be taking a read from comicbooks.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below. Recently, filmmaker Dave Filoni is set to develop his very own Star Wars movie, also known as the Thrawn movie, or a Mando-verse culmination movie essentially. This was confirmed and officially announced at the beginning of the year at Star Wars Celebration, and that this movie will reportedly unite the events of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, and Skeleton Crew. But recently, actor Paul Sun Huyang Lee, the actor behind Carson Teva throughout The Mandalorian, recently recalled that he has really no idea as to what Dave Filoni and the co-creator, Jon Favreau, are planning for the future of the Mando-verse. As it currently stands, there is no official confirmation from Lucasfilm or Disney about Ahsoka or Book of Boba actually officially getting Season 2, although I think that we have plenty of suspicions of what is going on exactly with those two shows. Though The Mandalorian is, of course, going to begin its filming and its overall production in the new year in February on Season 4. How or when Dave Filoni's massive crossover movie, or the Thrawn movie, will tie everything together is currently just simply unknown to the fans, but seemingly also to some of the actors as well, Sun Huyang Lee himself as well. Paul Lee says that, in quote, "I still have no idea as to where it's all leading," Sun Huyang Lee revealed to Tatooine Times. "I'm just gratified and so happy that John and Dave want to keep me on board and play this character, who is becoming more and more important in the Star Wars universe." Ending that quote right there, and it very much is true that Carson Teva is becoming more and more of this prominent character throughout the Mandalorian timeline, or the Mando-verse, after appearing in the first couple of seasons of The Mandalorian, also then now recently appearing in the Ahsoka show most recently. His overall role of what this character is doing is becoming more and more of so much so that some fans even believe that they could be teeing him up to have his own spin-off show. Maybe something as a potential replacement for the Rangers of the New Republic show that was supposed to surround the character of Cara Dune. Even then, if that isn't to be the case, Carson Teva looks to have a bright future in The Mandalorian Season 4, simply basing off of what we got in the Season 3 finale of The Mandalorian. Sun Huyang Lee first debuted as Carson Teva in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, helping establish the concept of the Rangers of the New Republic and the overall New Republic as an overall concept there as well, introducing the world-building concepts of this era, who first aimed to keep peace in the galaxy in the wake of the collapse of the Galactic Empire. After his Mandalorian debut, Carson Teva would go on to appear in the Book of Boba Fett as well, serving as a character who highlights the law-keeping structure of this unique point in time. And even if Carson Teva has yet to establish himself as a game-changing figure for the franchise necessarily, it is still very much neat to see his character throughout these different shows, appearing, kind of tying them all together in some type of way, but also introducing some of the larger world-building aspects of things, as I had mentioned, such as the New Republic. Sun Huyang Lee had explained how the character was conceived as being as a street-level figure essentially, who had offered insight into a specific perspective of this timeline. Paul Lee says that, in quote, "Jon Favreau had recently described him like a beat cop back in New York. He knows the neighborhood, he's just been around for a while, and he knows how to pick and choose his battles. Because he has limited resources, he's gotta depend on the community to help him out." the actor expressed. I kind of took that idea and had expanded it because The Mandalorian has such a Western theme to it as well, so I looked at him for more like a Texas Ranger back in the day. These were formidable lawmen who had vast territories of what they had no problem to solve to keep the peace on their own. They had to rely on their smarts and the community to survive. That's how I shaped and modeled the character of Carson Teva. He's a veteran of many battles. He's very passionate about the cause and an honorable man. He knows how to play between the lines because there's no absolutes as of to when you're out there with limited resources. Ending that quote right there. Giving us plenty of new insight onto the overall character of Carson Teva. I think it is something that comes as an obvious choice as to when you're describing the character, but I think it comes as another for this is how I purposely had modeled and kind of taken on this character as this very much like a beat cop back in New York. Somebody who really does at the end of the day have limited resources, I think has come as a very obvious thing throughout the Mandalorian timeline. This also partial cause for as of to what we see with later down the road throughout the sequels and the sequel trilogy of the fall of the New Republic and the rise of the First Order as they re-emerge from the Empire remnants, as the New Republic just doesn't really look to care all that much about the other threats out there, something as very much of the character of Carson Teva takes on plenty of times to discuss and bring awareness to that we've seen more and more of. And especially the concept of having the limited resources and being somebody that's passionate about the cause and being an honorable man, I think is something that the Ahsoka show very much so displays of his character. And so, while there are and were previous plans to develop the spin-off Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic show that was supposed to be based off of the character of Cara Dune before all the controversy and all the firing had kind of gone on, those plans have seemingly been scrapped. Although, as I had mentioned, many fans are very much hopeful that Carson Teva could fill in that role, maybe with Harrison Dula. Given that audiences now know about the First Order and the sequel trilogy of course as well, Sun Huyang Lee had also pointed out onto as of how his character can see what's on the horizon, what all of this will make of and become if the New Republic doesn't intervene, and even if he doesn't have the means to stop the rise of that threat, as he's one simple man making his way through this vast galaxy. He says that, end quote, "It's a great honor to be able to play this character. He is sort of connective tissue between these universes. He's a man of action, who has been searching and digging. He sees patterns, he sees what's happening," the actor had admitted. He can't convince people that it's as serious as he knows it's going to be. That's the dramatic irony. We all know what's happening in 20 years down the road with the sequels. He's kind of like a prophet, Cassidoria, who is just doomed to be ignored, even though as of that they can see the future. Ending that quote right there. I think also into the sense of that too, like you have to be aware of what's going to make of this, like what's going to happen like 20 years down the road with the sequels there, and also into the idea of that, well, his character of Carson Teva isn't just some crazy old man. He's somebody with experience. He's fought a couple of battles with the rebels and with the Empire. All this being said here, guys, very interesting and exciting reveals, news, teases here for what we have the potential to see down the road in the future of the Mando-verse here overall. Making it clear, I'm not by any means saying that they don't have any plan for the future of the Mando-verse. There very much seems to be a future of this Mandalorian era and timeline here overall. It's just by the means of that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they keep it close to their heart and they keep it a secret. And so, this here all being said, guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.